Ahoy there, and welcome back to DohMance Dawn. I'm Luke, your scurvy dog, using he, him, and sometimes they, them, and I'm joined by my lovely, wonderful, and downplays her ability to say a third thing about herself, Janine.
Hello, my name is Janine Juliet. My pronouns are she, they, and I do not have a third thing to say, no matter how much Luke tells you otherwise.
And we are joined this week by our special guest, Lexi. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. My name is Lexi, and I have a third thing. Just a moment. I'm finding it. Yes, it's that I am very good at making cocktails.
Ooh, very cool. So your second thing was that you have a third thing, and your third thing is that you're very good at making cocktails.
Oh, yes, my pronouns are she, her. Damn! Fuck, I knew I was going to mess this up. Can I swear? I hope I can swear.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to throw some more out there while we're at
it? Demonetize us on YouTube. This is DohMance Dawn, the show where we look at The Simpsons and One Piece as comparative forms of animation, and then fan cast One Piece characters with Simpsons characters. This is a special episode because we're doing more non-canonical filler, but also it's kind of a standard episode because I had a comment in the last episode, which was I was wrong and Janine, you were right. Lisa does have a painting of the Curious Bear Cub on her wall.
Ha ha! I'll take that.
Yeah. I own my mistakes. That is my benefit. So, Lexi, what is your background with The Simpsons?
I was really into The Simpsons as a kid. Like, I would watch reruns and currently airing seasons like all throughout middle school and into high school, which was like the late 2000s and early 2010s. Like when I even in elementary school, they played the
Raven.
The Raven, yes, they played the Raven Treehouse of Horror episode for us in English class, and that just hooked me. Any Treehouse of Horror content I would just gobble up. I even had a few of the Treehouse of Horror comics, trade paperbacks.
Nice. Yeah, the Raven is a teacher's best friend. Just like we need some Halloween content, and maybe we don't want to show that claymation one where the guy turns into the devil and then melts a person. Real 2000s heads know what I am referring to. And what did you know about One Piece before going into this?
I am a decently big anime person. I am very aware of One Piece. I watched some One Piece when I was a bit younger, still getting into anime, and it wasn't like one of the things I watched. I was more into Bleach, unfortunately. Now that I'm a bit older and people are always talking about One Piece and how good it is, I have started reading the manga. Occasionally, I am slowly chipping away at it.
Oh, I mean, if you want to devote your time to it, I've gotten through the entire thing in about 2 or 3 months of, like, bedtime reading.
I am very... I'm bad at focusing on single things. I love to pick things up and put things down and become fascinated for a few months and then have to come back to them months and months and months later.
Oh, yeah. I mean, One Piece became one of my lockdown hyperfixations, which is what eventually led to me starting the show. So,
Understandably, that'll happen.
yeah, it was that, and then Hunter x Hunter for a bit, and the Planescape Dungeons and Dragons setting from second edition.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we are covering 2 weird episodes of One Piece and no episodes of The Simpsons this week. These episodes initially ran from June 21st through June 28th of the year 2009, which would have been, I think, that brief kind of summer vacation that I had because my college was year round. The episodes are 406 and 407 of One Piece, and these include Special Historical Arc, Boss Luffy appears again.
And special historical arc, Destroy, Thriller Company's Trap.
And yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten back to the Boss Luffy. And it came at a time where they definitely needed to figure out what was going to happen. Because in the last episode of the canonical stuff, the entire team got their butts kicked. Horribly.
Sometimes you need a few moments, a little buffer to figure out what's actually happening next in the arc.
Yeah. Make sure that you don't need to do important filler. You can just be like, yeah, let's go to our Japan AU. So it is summer in Grand Japan, and like all of these are based around some big event now. Like we've kind of hit this is what these specials are going to be. There's a portable shrine race, which what makes a portable shrine seems to be very nebulous in the end. And also the Pinwheel Eatery has a new employee, Mao, who is just like, oh yeah, this is Mao. Everyone, Mao is very important. And it's like, okay. She is voiced by her actual voice actress who Mao is based on, who passed a few years ago, but was a voice actress. And it's just like, sure, why not? We had the WrestleMan. Janine, who was the WrestleMan?
Minoru Suzuki.
Yes. Who appeared, and so I guess Mal was a big fan of One Piece. And so the whole thing is that the person who wins this race is going to get a wish granted. And so the team goes to meet Franky, who they've introduced into this alternate universe, and they ask him to build a portable shrine, and we get the most uncomfortable Franky scene that we've gotten so far, where he's just not wearing pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's we'll get to it. But the reactions to that are really interesting.
Yeah, because Franky does typically just wear a Speedo, and then it just kind of goes into gross, weird places where even when there was a long scene of him running without pants, it was not framed in this way where Franky would go to jail or should go to jail. I mean, Janine, any thoughts?
I don't know. Like, was this just a thing you could just do in those times? Or is like, I don't know. Like, this is like some sort of weird AU logic, because like a lot of this stuff is like, oh no, this is definitely kind of like old school Japan, but then there's still like flying fish. We'll get to those.
Yeah, we meet the other groups, which includes Duvall's Flying Fish Riders, the Rolling Express, led by Captain Lola, and the Thriller Company, which is weirdly made of Absalom, Hogback, Perona, Sindri, and Kumachi, along with zombies who all live in a weird, massive tower, and it's very weird because we don't get Gecko Moria, who leads Thriller Bark, which is like the non-AU version of the team, and it's just such a weird missing element.
I didn't know this. I haven't gotten to Thriller Bark in the manga yet, but like even watching the episode, it really felt like I kept getting the feeling that this guy can't be the person who leads this team, right? This doesn't seem like the villain of that arc.
Yeah, Hogback sucks in very specific ways, but he is definitely not the leader. And so we kind of get them threatening everyone else to drop out. The Flying Fish Riders end up waking up Zoro, who is sleeping on a roof, and their shrine gets destroyed because all the Flying Fish Riders get depressed by Perona. And yeah, we kind of get this again where they then attack the Rolling Express, and it's just like, why is this happening? At the same time, Usopp ends up pulling Brook out of the water, who they don't really explain what Brook's deal is, because like they have not explained what a devil fruit is in this, and even people who have devil fruit are surprised to see other people with devil fruits in this AU.
Huh.
Yeah. This is like a hell AU for me as a person who has written some fanfic and has done some AU stuff, because it's like, no, there needs to be internal logic. But yeah, Brook gets adopted by Du Bois, finds out he has a wooden flute in his head, and just starts hanging out.
They really play Calvin Ball with like what is going on with this setting.
Yeah. So the Rolling Express float gets destroyed by zombies, and then everyone's like, oh, well, what if they destroy our float next? And also they kidnapped Mao. And when they finally arrive, Franky has been beaten and their float is destroyed. And Brook finally remembers what he's doing there, and he's a member of the Thriller Company, and then just walks off. And it again, just it's so lackadaisical with everything.
It really is. There is a full-on montage of just nothing. Of just Usopp and Brook and Luffy just like chilling and doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they also did that last time where Luffy just spends most of his time as he is essentially a policeman. Like, going into the terminology, the boss is essentially he's a policeman, and they kind of got that term because they weren't paid a lot, so they took a lot of bribes, and Luffy just spends his entire time like hanging out with kids, and like he's essentially an RPG protagonist trying to level up a bunch of little skills instead of solving crimes or preventing crimes.
Huh.
Yeah, it is just so weird to talk about. So Robin, being the deus ex machina of all of these arcs, just shows up and is like, yeah, Brook left the Thriller Company because he was disgusted with what happens and now plans to make amends. And Luffy chases after him, and the Thriller Company is planning to break Brook's legs. Like, in a very graphic way. It's like, yeah, we're going to drop these weights on until your bones break. And what the fuck?
Yeah, it's not fun. I really got the feeling that they weren't going to stop at his legs too. Like they were just going to keep going until there wasn't Brook left.
Yeah. It's weird. So they end up saving Brook, and then they get out of there. And it turns out that Duval and Lola bring their wreckage over so that Franky can make a new portable shrine, and Brook joins their crew, which isn't really even a crew. And just like this is the I don't like the AU logic here. It
It doesn't have a whole lot of consistency about like what's going on here.
no, and like I feel as though the previous one where Buggy stole a tree for Foxy, who was a foreign man, like that one at least made more sense. This is just trying to do too much. So it is finally the morning of the shrine race. So Thriller Company has a giant shrine shaped like oars, and the Pinwheel Company shows up with theirs, and they just have a race that is at least fun. Like there's some silly stuff. The one that the Pinwheel Company has is inspired by the Thousand Sunny, and we get a Franky feeding it cola that acts like Nas, and like, oh, you knocked it into the river. Well, it's a good thing it's a boat. And when they finally get to the final mountain, they send out the giant spider monkey, and everyone's almost out of it. But then it's like, oh, well, we can fire the big murder cannon to kill the giant spider and hit Thriller Shrine, and then Luffy knocks him out. The crew doesn't get any of the prize money that they were promised because they caused so much damage in the race, but they do get a piece of sacred treasure, and the only thing is a pair of magic wish-making panties that only women can wear. And Nami is hesitant, which is like, yeah, no, that's fair. This seems like something that a creepy dude put in there because creepy dudes wrote this fucking episode. But also, if you want money, you can use the wish making panties once and get that money, girl.
It's these episodes sure are something.
Yeah, I don't think it is a good way to sell a person on One Piece. Again.
It's also just like I have things about One Piece that I like and that like that pulls me back to it every once in a while. I like Luffy as a character. He's a fun guy. Luffy is just like he just doesn't have anything to do this episode. It seems like it's just a lot of going between plot points and not doing much.
There's not a lot of motivation for anything for them to like take charge. Things just keep happening to them until Robin shows up and is like, hey, here's what you need to do. Which is the big problem with all the Boss Luffy stuff. It's fart around until you find someone to punch, or Robin tells you who to punch.
I feel like if they stretch this out into maybe 3 episodes to kind of like get a little more out of it, you'd probably be able to get Gecko Moria in there and like make this make more sense. But if you wanted to make an old school version of the Thousand Sunny, that's I guess just exactly the Thousand Sunny.
Yeah. I did like the little dingy version of the merry-go. That was nice.
Yeah. This is just a weird mess of 2 episodes. So thank you for joining us. So we before we move on to characters, anything else to address?
Okay, so this is there's a few things that are like very clearly being introduced here from arcs that I have not seen.
Yeah.
I know about Franky. I
Mm-hmm.
have not met him in my reading.
Mm-hmm.
But I I do want to point out that there are two characters that I did not know at all who have apparently are attached to Franky.
Oh yeah, Kiwi and Mozu, the Square Sisters.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh I was like, "Oh, that's new to me. That's I don't know what's up with them. That's fun."
Mm-hmm.
Um also I as a spooky girl myself, I do just generally like to see the Thriller Bark character designs. I can't wait to actually get to that arc. I know that I'm probably going to enjoy it a lot.
More than Dalton did.
Probably. There is something about the tone of One Piece that I do find very charming.
Mm-hmm.
I love the it's Looney Tunes to me. Like
Yeah.
there so much of it is like Looney Tunes, and then you get big like heartfelt moments between the Looney Tunes stuff that like kind of strings it all together. That's what One Piece is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um and so like anytime I see like interesting weird character designs or like fun powers coming from these like spooky weird people, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see where this will be fun for me. um I wish I'm hoping to get to that point in the manga. uh
Mm-hmm.
I I'm forgetting her name, but the girl who has depression ghost powers.
Oh, Perona. Yeah.
Perona. I want to know what her deal is. I want to see that fight. I
Oh, it's a good one. It
It
is a good
is.
one.
It is an all-time like favorite fight because you won't expect what happens to happen.
And hearing her voice acting in both the sub and the dub, because
Mm-hmm.
I've been switching between both of them now. Um, no matter which actress, I love that obnoxious laugh of hers.
yeah, it's good. um Also, I really hope that the bit of one of the characters getting in the way of all of their speeches is a thing that is in the manga, because I did think that running joke was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's definitely good stuff in Thriller Bark. There's also just a few things where it's like, oof, the anime especially did not do this well.
Mm.
But now we have one character to match this time, and that is Mao. So, my Rodrigo style from characters the last batch of Simpsons episodes we watched is Ayn Rand. Let's just throw Ayn Rand out. And then I didn't have a good throwback character because I did want to kind of go with the idea of, well, let's use an actual actress who played herself. And so I have both Meryl Streep and then I have, oh no, Bette Midler. Janine, who do you have?
Um, let's see here. The first one I have do you remember the sitcom couch gag opening?
Mm-hmm.
Um
Where it's.
Carla Lisa from the Cheers segment.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically that one.
Okay. Yeah. There is a specific. There is specifically a opening where it's the Simpsons running through different eras of TV shows as different characters from those shows for context. And then did he other one?
Yes, Martha
Mhm.
Quimby. Because, come on now, you were working here.
Without it, we'd have had no fun since March of 1961. To shut them down now would be twisted. We just heard this place existed.
Oh my god. You know that song that well.
I had that soundtrack. I listened to it many times. I've listened to it more than I've seen the episode.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I am this is unfortunately the right podcast for you.
Yeah. Where the highlights in your hair do the X arms and Vishnu weep with the spring in Springfield. And Lexi, how about you?
So it's funny that Janine picked Carla Lisa
Mm-hmm.
because I picked Carla Tortelli as played by Rhea Perlman.
Oh my god. Hell yeah. Oh my god.
Because so when I saw that in the materials for the show that this
Mhm.
character was a reference and was played by their played it was someone doing their likeness, like they were
Mhm.
animated like the voice actress. I was like, I should try to keep within that theme. So I like looked around in the like cameos, and I actually hit upon a person, a character that is a reference, and also voiced by voiced by the person they're trying to reference here. Uh, and it also just happens to be from the episode that has my favorite Simpsons joke, Homer going to the she.
Mhm.
So yeah, Carla Tortelli, like actual Carla Tortelli from Cheers, is my pick.
Enjoy your death trap, ladies. Who
A person who's very turned on by middle-aged women.
I didn't quite get that worked out. Such a powerful button. All right.
I'm
Oh, go ahead, Gene.
yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, it lines up better. Like, mine was close.
Mhm.
If we did not have Lexi here, I feel like it would have been the shoo-in. But oh, that's such a bullseye.
Yeah, especially after we used Ted Danson previously.
We're gonna get the rest of the Cheers crew one by one. They'll show up in one piece.
Hell yeah! Everybody, at least watch season 1 of Cheers. You don't have to watch anything else past that. Although I do like a lot of the Frasier Lilith stuff.
Because you are a person who's very turned on by middle-aged women.
Yeah, just like the button says.
Who? This well-mannered snake?
No, not that one. The other one.
All right, yeah, no, I am very good to go with Carla Tortelli. See, that's how
I'm
you.
very good to go with Carla Tortelli.
Danny DeVito is very good to go with Carla Tortelli, his wife.
Listen, like I get it. Carla Tortelli is a catch. IMO. Rhea Perlman, even bigger catch.
Oh yes.
She can reel on my Perlman any day. Gosh, I am so unused to having an episode that is this short. It feels nice, but also strange. So, yeah, that wraps us up. Lexi, where can you be found online?
I will be able to be found shortly hereafter on Blue Sky, which I am going to probably sign up for immediately after this episode. I'm going to take a wild guess that no one else has my handle, Hex of Lexi, which I use everywhere. And you can also find me on Tumblr at Hex of Lexi.
Excellent. Janine, how about you? What else are you involved in?
Well, let's see here. You could find me on Blue Sky at JanineJuliet.bisky.social. No longer doing the Twitter thing. Let's see. Instagram is Janine is dope, and Poisonous on Space Hay. But nobody's doing. I spent so long on making a profile on Space Hay for people to look at, and nobody goes there.
I'm sorry.
And Luke, where can people find you?
Waiting for you to ask me where I can be found. You can find me most places that I'm online, which is really just Blue Sky at Coltreg, Koltreg. Also, by the time this goes up, there should be the Exiled annual that Janine played in that I ran over at exiledpodcast.com. And also find my comics at coltreg.itch.io, or if you want to support this podcast, I have a Patreon under my name, Luke Herr, Lukeherr. And if you support that, you get DohMance episodes early and occasionally other things that I have done. DohMance Dawn updates every other week. Our covers are currently done by Mike Patten, who you can find at Patten Pending, PattenPending. Sometimes there is a underscore between those. Please give him a follow and hire him to do some work. We'll be back in 2 weeks as Janine has to deal with the most dangerous thing for her, an island full of women who will try and kill her. We'll see you then.
Christmas comes early.
Smooth sailing.
And so does Janine.
A person who's very turned on by middle-aged women.
Peace.